Hi, my name is Raul Vistillos, and I will be doing my presentation of the persuasive speech. I convinced 5 of my friends to sit there quietly and enjoy this speech. I'm very grateful to have them here, and all right, let's get going. So after doing research, immense amount of research about how we spend time on our phones and how we struggle to connect with people, I read a very interesting quote by an MIT professor, actual Dr. Sherry Turkle. She said, "Never have we needed to talk to each other and understand each other more." You know, nowadays we're on our phones to try to connect with people, try to get things done, and it consumes a lot of our time. So one of the things we do, phubbing. So phubbing is the practice of snubbing others in favor of our mobile phones. So I've witnessed a lot of this, like waiting tables. I witnessed a lot of people coming in to say like a grandpa and his grandson come in and they're trying to have a lunch and try to interact with each other. I noticed that the grandson is always on his phone, while the grandpa's just like waiting to try to talk to his grandson. Or like when the whole family comes in and like instead of spending quality time with each other and interacting with each other, they're just on their phones, either playing video games or they're reading social media. They're just spending time on things that really don't matter. And human interaction it's important to have that. It's what makes us human. You know, the love we get from it, the happiness and the joy we get from each interaction. You know, the ability to uplift others. Being on your phone just completely sinks you. So another thing, social media is toxic. You know, it takes a lot of our time. It makes us insecure. I have a lot of friends, girls especially, they compare themselves to other girls online and they come up with these false expectations on what they're supposed to look like. If they only knew they were perfect just the way they are. Just because you shouldn't have to conform to the world on what you should look like. You should be happy within yourself. People always try to portray the best versions of themselves on social media. And unfortunately, that leads us to be insecure because we're thinking other people are living a better life than we are. And that's something we shouldn't even be doing to begin with, comparing ourselves with other people online. You know, it's simple. You know, so if I post something on Facebook and my best friend Alex posts something on Facebook and he gets more likes than I do, sometimes that makes us a little insecure. Why don't we get more likes? And our value shouldn't be determined by the amount of likes we get on social media. Another thing is getting so much data thrown at us, and when we have our phone, it's like instant data. We don't have time to reflect on it. We don't spend a lot of time with ourselves. It's really hard to you wake up, what do? You check your phone. You just keep checking your phone. When do you actually have time to reflect on what you just read? How much time do you spend alone, really trying to come up with an original thought and interpret the information in front of you? It's really important to spend a lot of time with yourself in order to really, really get to know yourself and love yourself. And with that being said, I'm not saying phones are a bad thing because they help. With efficiency, the fact that we get to communicate with other people instantaneously is a blessing. I'm not saying it's a curse, but I'm just saying to an extent there needs to be, everything in moderation should be good. You shouldn't be on your phone way too much, but I mean, having a phone is great because social media does help. It does help. You can fundraise, you can post, you can reach out to others, you can uplift. It's like a good and bad situation, but what I want to point out and want to convince people is to not be on their phone as much and really enjoy the present because, you know, the missed opportunities you can have, the people you didn't meet because you were on your phone. Like, you're on a path, you could have passed 20 people and you could have met like the love of your life, your new boss, a person you could have reached out to, and it's an endless amount of opportunity you could have missed out on. And fundraising is great. Like, you know, if you want a philanthropy you're in, or you want to help somebody, you know, having access to that and reaching out to people consistently is great. With that being said, one of the I listed out a few solutions here that can possibly may lead you to not be on your phone as much. One, I would recommend reading a book. Substitute that time you would spend on your phone in the morning. Maybe start reading, or maybe I have a routine, unfortunately, where before I go to bed, I check all my social media apps, and I don't know, it's a bad thing, so now I've been substituting them by reading a book. Kind of reading one chapter before I go to bed instead of checking to see what other people are doing. Exercising, you know, that time you spend just looking on how fit people are, why don't you do the exercise yourself? Listen to music, it's gonna be okay. And like I said, take the time to meet everybody that comes on your path. It's great, and you never know what you may get out of it.
and really just take the time to enjoy what's in front of you. And with that being said, that concludes my persuasive speech.